What are some skills people can learn to live like you and do the kind of work you do?
So if you're in the West specifically, I would get into flipping or get into affiliate marketing or something like that. Because affiliate marketing is what gave me the skill set initially, like writing blog posts, writing emails, understanding how to sell via the written word. So you could do affiliate marketing via Twitter, you could start niche blogs, you can still make money with that, but it's also just a good experience. So for the average person watching this, I don't recommend you quit your job. Save up some money, get some affiliate stuff going, maybe start flipping products on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree if you're in the UK. And just start little things like that, and then once you get a little bit of money coming in, you've got a skill set, you can, as you were saying, find remote work.
My man Dylan,
how's it going, brother?
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
You know, bro, everyone wants to, reach that millionaire status, but not everyone can do it. What everyone can do, what you've done yourself, getting to 10, 20, 30K per month, living a lifestyle how you live, traveling, working with your girl, going around the world, fitness, having brothers in every continent, man.
Yeah.
I think you have a very inspiring story, man. I follow you on Twitter and Instagram. I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm sure many other people are influenced and inspired by what you do, man. So I wanted to, spend the next couple of minutes, even the next hour, hopefully, to just really get to know, like, what was that point in your life where you decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead, focus on me, travel the world, enjoy life, and live it to the fullest. So. Yeah, man, and hopefully we can inspire some people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, it started back in 2014, and I was one of those people, and a lot of the people that are listening to this will relate to this. You see other people living the life you want, so you just try to do all these things, and you get shiny object syndrome. So I would get into affiliate marketing, make a little bit of money. Oh, no, that's boring. Then I would try drop shipping. Oh, no, that's boring. Then I would try this. Boom, 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 boom. Tried all these different things, and then finally in 2019. By this point, I had done work with like Mike Cernovich, Victor Pride. A lot of people don't know that guy, but Victor Pride, Bull Determined, Ed Lattimore, Alexander Cortez. I could just keep name dropping people that I'd worked with, either doing event management for them, helping them with marketing. But I was sitting there and I was still cleaning properties, so taking care of apartments. I was telling you a little bit about that last night.
Yeah.
Cleaning bathrooms, doing flipping on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and we'll get to that in a minute. So I was doing all these random things. I was like, man, what am I not doing correct? Like, what am I missing? Like, obviously they see potential in me. I know how to make money without a job. I want to be able to travel the world. And one thing led to another. We can get to the story here in a bit, but basically in 2019, that was the moment that I was like, okay, fuck all this other stuff. I need to figure this thing out. So I went into freelancing, and it started back in Jamaica. Shout out Jake Nomada, Jake Darby. We met in Jamaica, and he was doing this. He was just typing emails. I was like, bro, what are you doing? So it's this thing called email marketing. Basically, I just write emails for clients, and they pay me. And he was making way more money doing that than what I was doing cleaning and flipping. And so that planted the seed. And then a couple months later, or actually a couple of days later, met Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate. One thing led to another. We ended up partnering together on a couple projects. And basically, from there, I just continued to transition deeper and deeper into the freelancing space, specifically email copywriting. And then I started leveraging my social media skills as well, helping other guys build their brands on Twitter, Instagram, etc.
Amazing.
And one thing led to another. But basically, that's how I got to this point. I could talk for 2 hours about that.
Question then. What would you say, actually 2 questions.
Yeah.
What's the dirtiest job you did before you went freelancing?
Yeah.
And what was that point where you just said, fuck it, I'm going to go online?
Yeah.
And then number 2, what would you say was, how your first steps towards working online? What was it like?
So, I mean, my dirtiest job was obviously just cleaning properties, but towards the end of that, I was taking care of this marina, and that was 100% one of the dirtiest things ever. Because it's
on a lake, on the ocean?
On the ocean. It was a main entrance point. So you'd have all these rednecks coming through, just dump all this dead fish and beer and all this other nonsense. So it sit over the weekend. It was terrible. And it was a regular occurrence, Dylan Madden, picking up trash, and it would bust, and I would get rotten beer and fish and all that all over me. And then I would be cleaning their bathrooms after they had just been destroyed by some
trucker.
Worse than truckers, even worse. That type of person destroyed the bathroom. They had zero manners, zero cleanliness or anything. And so I many mornings I would be staring at myself in the mirror as I was wiping it, just like, Dylan, what are you doing, bro? But that was a caveat. It gave me that because I used to think that I was like above certain things, but doing cleaning for so long, nothing's below me. Like even with my team, I would do some of the work. Like
it's a humbling experience.
Yeah, it's very humbling.
Comparing like where you were and like where you are now, you look back, you're like, fuck, I'm glad I did that kind of work because I never want to go back there. And that's something that's the best kind of motivation you need. It's like I do not want to go back.
Yeah,
I'm going only up and going forward.
Exactly. Like I've worked on farms. I've done a bunch of random jobs, and then growing up, my mom, like to this day, I mean, I'm taking care of her now. That was like a part of my inspiration. I wanted to retire my mom and take care of her because like I would see her go through the kitchen. Like as a kid, I didn't really know. It wasn't until much later that we talked about it. She would literally go without eating so that I could eat.
Wow.
And then so I experienced poverty in that sense. And then my dad got custody of me years later, and he's like middle class, upper middle class. So I got to experience both sides of that, like not having money, having a little bit of money. I want some more money.
Yeah, of course.
And then it was interesting from the middle class standpoint. I got to see my dad. He was like a VIP of $1 billion company, and his friend made it out like a bandit. Out of loyalty, he stayed with the company. His friend made it out like a bandit, hundreds of millions of dollars that he took away. Obviously, I think the tax man probably came for a lot of that also. Yeah, not going to work.
Give my money.
But I had to see my dad start over. So that also further planted the seed into my mind, like, okay, I can't be corporate. I need to do my own thing.
So you basically, it sounds like you saw two sides of what it's like. You know, you have a very strong, supportive mother who was basically taking the shorter end of the stick to give you opportunity and light to actually live your life. And then you had your father on one side who was upper middle class, VP at a multi-billion-dollar company. So you got to experience both of that. You know, what would you say influenced you more? Was it your dad or your mom? And then what was it that they did particularly that resonates and sticks with you today, like a lesson from each of them?
Yeah, I mean, for my mom, it was just having faith. That's the biggest thing I learned from her, is just having faith. But for my dad, it's not just having faith, but taking action on it.
That's powerful.
Yeah, so from both of them, I learned, I guess, both parts of that, the faith aspect, the action aspect, and then you could argue that the reason I like to travel so much and I like living out of a book bag and duffel bag, outside of my girl who has to have a like 300-pound suitcase, is because my dad, I would watch him go. Like one time he was going for a year.
Wow.
So he was always on the road. He was going to China. He was going to South Africa. He was doing all these big logistics things, warehouses and all that. So you could argue that's why I like to travel. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but living as a man, what else are you going to do? You're not going to be stuck in one spot your whole life. You're a small town or even like a big city. And maybe you go on the weekends to the cottage up north or down south, wherever you are, like once a year take a 1 week vacation. I think what you're doing is what 98% of guys and girls want to actually be doing. They want to work for themselves. They want to be remote. They want to go online. They don't want to work for anyone directly, being micromanaging that stuff. So I think the ultimate taste of freedom, I'll tell you me, man, when I made my first dollar online, that to me was like, fuck. That $1 was worth my whole paycheck when I worked a day-to-day job. You know, I'm just like, I have to like scale this. I got to keep doing this. How do I do it? You know, even when I quit my job back in the day, and when I went online, I was making less money. But the fact that I can wake up in my house, open up my laptop, and work, and not have to commute for an hour to downtown Toronto, that for me was just like a complete game changer. Like that $1,000 was the sweetest $1,000 I made at the time, and I think a lot more people should start waking up to this. Despite everything that happened in COVID, most people got forced to go work from home. Some people want to stay home. Now there's a good opportunity, a small window where you can still go and work remote from anywhere in the world.
Right. I mean, I guess answer your second question from earlier. Something that woke me up was I got exposed to the whole blogging world, and blogging's not dead, but it's not what it used to be. And I saw these guys living in Asia, just typing articles, selling their PDF, like $10 PDFs, just making it out, like making tons of money, like tens of thousands of dollars a month, just writing all these little blog articles. So that's kind of what woke me up. And then I started a niche website, blog. And I remember, this was back whenever I was working a job, probably 2015, 2016. 2016 is when I quit my 9-to-5, so it was 2015. I was stuck in traffic, but between the time of me clocking out and then getting home, I made like $40 from a blog article that I wrote and published a couple days ago. Or previously. And it was like, for me, that was my moment of, okay, this is real. Because I was also, for a while, I knew about online money. It was not as easily you can't read about it or couldn't read about it.
You just got to do it. And
yeah, I did it.
Keep doing
I did it, and for that, once I saw that, I was like, oh, this is real. Okay, because I still was like, I don't know. I think that's a pipe dream. Let me find a way that I can make, because I wanted to be a businessman, but I didn't really know exactly how. So I was like, let me try to find some like offline business I can do. But once I saw that, I was addicted to it. I was like, I've got to crack this code. This is like the perfect life hack, and one thing led to another. But yeah,
awesome. And you know what, like, making $30,000 a month USD, fresh, clean $100 bills that smell like something. When you have that, you can pretty much live anywhere you want in the world.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite spot to live and work from, and why?
So I'm one of those people where I don't like being in any one place for long.
You gotta keep moving, changing environment and stuff. Yeah.
Like I've got an apartment in Paraguay.
Yeah.
That I've moved some money into just while I'm gone. So for me, the best case scenario is like spend 3 to 5 months in one location, 3 to 5 months in another location. However, I don't like just traveling to all these random new countries. Like what I'm doing now is just for the vlog. Like people have been asking, so I'm going to be going all over Europe, and then I'm finished with that. But I could see myself, like, I've got my apartment in Paraguay. I really like Belgrade a lot, so I wouldn't mind spending more time here and then Dubai. And it would basically just be like boom, boom,
trifecta
boom.
going
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
escape the winters down to Paraguay.
Yeah.
Opposite, you come to Europe. Yeah, summers in Europe are really, it's really fun.
Yeah, I want to escape the winters in Europe, and then the summer in Paraguay is terrible. It's like you go outside and it's hell all day.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like humid hot, heat hot.
Yeah, just everything about it's bad. Have you ever been to Dubai or Qatar?
No, haven't been. The only place in the Middle East I've been to was Lebanon.
Okay, I've never been there, so I can't really talk on that. But it's example. Whenever I was in Qatar, I would call it Uber, wait outside for 2 minutes, you're drenched in sweat. It's that hot. Yeah, and that's how Paraguay gets. We were just getting out of the winter, and it wasn't that bad. It was like really rainy a couple days, got cold, and then it was back to normal. But,
yeah, I know I got some friends out of Dubai. They usually leave for the summertime and come to Europe or go to North America, and then for them that's like, escaping the summer.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's bittersweet because we escaped the winter for the summer, the summer for the winter. The grass is always greener on the other side, man. And where would you say, like, if you were to stay now, now we're coming up to September, if you were to be in one spot for one full year, where would it be? Would it be Paraguay? Would it be the Middle East?
Honestly, it would probably be Paraguay, just because I've got good connections there. Already have my apartment there.
I really got good beef over there. Good steak.
Oh yeah, they've got really fresh meat and vegetables and all that there. Yeah, so I'd probably be Paraguay. One country I really liked that I need to go back to was whenever I was there, I was broke. Is the country of Georgia.
Georgia, huh?
So
I heard good things. They got good bread over there.
Yeah,
that fluffy balloon bread.
Yeah, they have some type of like dumplings or something that are really good, but it's got like meat and everything inside. But I want to go back to Georgia. That's the only other place I think I could live for like a year straight.
Yeah,
because whenever I was there, I really liked it. It was really rugged. However, the caveat to that is now that I've come to Belgrade, if I can find a way to be able to stay here longer than just 90 days, I could see myself spending a lot more time here.
Yeah, Belgrade's definitely a good spot. Like 3 years ago, even before COVID, I made the jump from Toronto to Belgrade. For me, I was like, do I do it? Do I don't do it? I was making money online. What do I got to lose? If I just book a one-way ticket, I'm there for 6 months. I speak the language. I know the city relatively well. I have some friends here, some family as well. So for me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I did it. And then, 6 months turns to 12 months, 12 months turns to 18, 18, 24. COVID happened. I've traveled more during COVID than, ever before in my life.
Yeah.
Everything is relatively close by within Europe. And you know how Europe is, man. The summertime, even the springtime, Europe's a blast, wherever you go. But for me, like, a hack is definitely being in Belgrade for 6 months of the year. It's affordable. It's safe. It's relatively clean. There's a lot to do at night, right? Restaurant culture. Nightlife, pubs, bars, social life. It's all put on a really good pedestal that everyone can reach. And I think that's why I want to keep Belgrade as a hidden gem, but I want to open the opportunity for other people to come by as well. And so, very similar to you. 6 months of the year here in Belgrade, the other 6 months, North America, traveling South America, Asia, doing that kind of stuff. Now, as we're young and making money online.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing that holds a lot of people back from traveling is like whenever I first started traveling. Obviously, I had kind of a life hack. I had a good introduction into traveling. Moved to Romania. I was with the Tates, and we went to Dubai. And then after that point, that was when I started traveling alone. And then went to Qatar, and then it was full lockdown, so I couldn't leave. Then I ended up bringing my girl, told her to quit her job. We went to Brazil because I was one of those guys. There's no reason to go to South America.
Yeah.
Like
There is
zero reason. But then I actually went there and I was it's actually not that bad. The only place that I wasn't super crazy about from a living standpoint is Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
It was too westernized. Like,
It depends where you are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like-
Guadalajara.
yeah, Guadalajara, yeah.
Guadalajara, it's pretty western going there.
Yeah.
Cancun, Tulum, that whole area is very touristy and
Yeah.
like.
I didn't like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like that either when I went. It was I was turned off by the whole like American influence over there, and you basically felt like you're an extension of America at that point.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like that. But Brazil was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Brazil was nice.
I liked Brazil. I don't really see myself going back there outside of meeting a friend of mine, Steven Story, for anybody that's watching this.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to meet him there again because we've already hung out there a couple times.
Yeah,
but-
Steven's a good guy. He's in the north, Bahia. I
yeah,
think.
Salvador.
Salvador.
Yeah, he's there. He loves it. Speaks the language and everything.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for people that are watching this that are interested in traveling or that limits them is, oh man, I don't know any people. I'm nervous. Like for me, I was nervous too whenever I first traveled, especially like as an American.
Yeah, it's a new beginning, you know.
We're psyoped into thinking outside of the U.S. is dangerous.
Yeah.
But then you just start traveling. You're like, oh, it's actually a little bit
It
more
opens up
free.
your mind. Yeah.
So for me, it was just getting through that hurdle of just doing it. But I'm also one of those people that maybe I'm a little messed up in the head. It didn't really mess with me too much. The only time I was actually kind of nervous was when I was alone, didn't have any data or anything because I was still new to the whole SIM card thing, whatever. And I just forced myself to take a walk for like an hour or two.
Explore the city while you're at it.
Oh my God, nothing happened.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Oh no, CNN was wrong.
Yeah, I know. So then after that, I was fine. So for anybody that wants to travel, go travel with one of your best friends or travel alone, whatever. Just go do it. Go for like a couple weeks. Go for a month, whatever.
Where have you traveled alone?
Well, in Georgia, I was alone for a couple weeks by myself, and then my girl ended up flying out. That was the first time we officially met. Outside of that, I was in Dubai alone for a little bit. I was in Hungary alone. I've been to Turkey alone. So yeah, I mean, not a huge amount of time, but the initial couple months of my like losing my virginity as far as like traveling, that was when I was alone. Outside, once I left the Tates, like we were hanging out in Dubai, and then I started traveling because I was like, I like living here, but I also want to expand and really just explore the
Open up your
world.
horizons and stuff. Yeah.
So
yeah, that resonates with me because I've only been to a handful of places alone. I've been to Italy alone. I've been to France alone. I've been to Switzerland alone.
Yeah.
Mostly European countries, and to me, it felt relatively normal. I went out for a walk. I wasn't nervous about anything or anxious because I know you're in Europe. It's relatively safe wherever you go, minus like the Baltic countries and everything's going on right there in Sweden and stuff. But for me, it was basically an eye-opening experience, just traveling alone. Because when you travel alone, you get to appreciate the time you have and when it's alone. And then that alone time you have, you reflect, you build, you think about crazy ideas, you meet some people, try some food on your own. And like, I think the boldest thing to do and the biggest point of learning for any guy is going to a restaurant that's packed and having a dinner by yourself and a glass of wine or a beer. You know?
Oh yeah, I've been there, done that. I like it because for me, like you really are able to take in the culture. One, it is kind of sometimes uncomfortable, you could argue, but you get through that, and then eventually you actually like it, and it gives you a sense of clarity. But for anybody that's like watching this, you want to start traveling, I do recommend, like you were saying, just go to Europe. It's safe.
Yeah,
you can
summertime,
go
springtime, perfect.
Which I think we should get into like the money aspect of it because that's what makes all this possible. So if you're watching this and you're working a 9 to 5,
you know what I would ask? The first question I would ask that people are probably asking now is, how much money do I need to even think about going to Europe for, let's say, the summer, from June all the way to August?
So once again, maybe I'm messed up in the head, but like I was traveling with $1,500 a month.
Okay, I was going to say you have expensive taste, so you.
Oh, now I do. Now I do. Yeah, but whenever I first started traveling, I would literally book like 2 weeks at an Airbnb because I refused hostels, whatever they're called. Hate them. I've stayed one night in it because I had a flight, a really early morning flight. I was like, never again. So it was Airbnb. So I would book like two weeks at Airbnb, make some money, close a new client, make a little bit more money, book another Airbnb, and I did that for felt like an eternity. But now that I'm actually thinking about it, I did it for December and January, and then I moved to Qatar, and then I was stuck in Qatar.
So because you went from city to city almost ad hoc, you basically had your back against the wall.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so you worked a little harder, you were hustling a little more, you just wanted to get a little bit more nobility, make the money, go to your next destination.
Yeah, I mean, for the people that are listening, though, I would say you might disagree with this, and I welcome that, but like 2,500 to like 4K a month, and you're perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you can have
I can agree with that.
a decent Airbnb,
Yeah.
decent like dating life, nightlife.
Yeah, you can with $4,000 a month, you
Yeah.
can go out and eat a nice steak dinner or whatever that
Yeah.
local delicacy is every single night.
Yeah.
You can go on dates, you can go pubs, nice Airbnb, maybe even like if you're into co-working and doing that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, affording a co-working spot. So, yeah, but yeah, 25, even $2,000. If you're in Serbia with $2,000 a month, you can live. You can live in nobility. Let's just say that. Romania too. I would imagine the same there. Bulgaria, Greece. Depends where in Greece. Not Mykonos, Santorini, but
I still need to go
mainland
to Greece.
Like, you haven't been to Greece yet?
Never.
Greece is a nice spot.
Okay.
Definitely. If you're into beaches and like views, Greece, hands down.
Okay.
I was in end of July. I was in Mykonos for the weekend, and to me, I was expecting something completely different. Now I understand why Mykonos and Santorini are popular. Because when Americans and North Americans think about Greece, they think of those two spots, Santorini and Mykonos. I went there; it was littered with Americans and North Americans. Prices were like you're in Miami. I'm just like, what the fuck? I didn't hear any Greek. It was just like everything was Americanized, Westernized.
So don't go to those places. Go elsewhere.
I mean, if you want to go for the parties, which if you like, deep house, those kind of parties, and you like international women and you're men of taste, highly recommended, but only for a weekend. Santorini is more for you and your girl, romantic views, sunset. Santorini. I haven't been to Santorini, but from what I heard, Santorini is a spot like that. But Mykonos is good for like a short-term party stay. If you ask me if I go back, no. But if I went back with friends on a yacht, I'll stay for a day or two.
That's how I felt about Jamaica. I would never go back just by myself. But if you're like, hey Dylan, I'm going to go to Jamaica.
What's a good spot I recommend? But you're an American, so I don't know if you can go to Cuba. Can you go to Cuba?
I've got friends that can get me there, yeah.
Yeah, you can get to Cuba, although the Wi-Fi sucks, you probably get no work done.
Well, that's why I haven't gone, because whenever I was in Mexico, that was part of my plan, is I was going to get a private plane to Cuba.
Yeah.
But then it was right as whatever was recently happening earlier this year, I want to say, they shut the internet down for the entire country.
Down the whole country.
Yes, I was I'm not going to go.
Yeah. It's if you want to unplug, disconnect, and if you like walking on sandy beaches that feels like you're walking on flour and like nice blue water, Cuba's this place to be. But I'm a guy that I'll get bored after 3 days. I have to like dip out of there. Go somewhere else. I need like the constant change.
Well, that's how I am as well. I'm trying to control that a little bit more, just for productivity. So that's why I've got the home base in Paraguay. I'm looking at getting one in Europe and then one in Dubai, so that I don't have to, I can literally just pack my computer into a book bag, and then I've got clothes at this place, clothes at this place, clothes at this place.
How do you balance all that, man? Like with work and like life and travel? And,
I mean, I've got a really good team at this point. In the early days, it was a struggle because it was just me. Then my girl was my first employee. Then after that, I hired a guy to do some of the writing for my emails and clients and all that type of stuff. Then I hired a Twitter ghostwriter for another client, and then I started expanding. So now, as long as I can have access to my phone, work is getting done.
Good.
So I could send a couple voice messages, type some things, and I've pretty much made it to where outside of my personal brand, I don't actually have to be the one that's doing it. I'm just directing it.
So let's go back to the money part. What are some skills people can learn to live like you and do the kind of work you do?
I mean, for me personally, I think we should start with how they can replace their 9 to 5. So if you're in the West specifically, I would get into flipping or get into affiliate marketing or something like that, because affiliate marketing is what gave me the skill set initially. Like writing blog posts, writing emails, understanding how to sell via the written word. So you could do affiliate marketing via Twitter. You could start niche blogs. You can still make money with that, but it's also just good experience. I also recommend them getting into video content. They don't need to do it. They can take other people's content and then promote affiliate products that way.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
And if you're communicating, you can get into a remote SDR role and just do sales for a B2B startup in the States, and they enable remote work, and they're a step ahead.
Yeah, so you could do skills take skills like that initially, and I'm coming from the mindset of a former 9 to 5 person. So while you have your 9 to 5, I was the guy that I made money with Uber one time, put my 2 weeks notice in, and ended up burning down to the ground because the city I'm from essentially banned Uber temporarily. So my plan didn't work, but that's what led me into cleaning, and everything worked out. So I just up and quit. I quit, broke with the girl I was with at the time, quit my job, because I felt like I was living 2 different lives. Because I could tell she wasn't the person I should be with, where I was taking my life, my job. I was miserable. And I was like, I made money with Uber. Okay, quit. Because I'd already made a little bit of money online, so I knew I could figure it out. But for the average person watching this, I don't recommend doing that. Because I'm one of those people, I can I'm a survivor.
You can pivot quick.
Yes, very quickly. So for the average person watching this, I don't recommend you quit your job. Save up some money, get some affiliate stuff going, maybe start flipping products on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree if you're in the UK, and just start little things like that. And then once you get a little bit of money coming in, you've got a skill set, you can, as you were saying, find remote work.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
And there's a lot of those like job posting, but like
Yeah.
Upwork, for example, is a great fucking place to start.
Yeah.
I know many people who made a lot of money off Upwork and found really even full-time remote jobs off Upwork.
Yeah.
Remote okay, and there's a handful. Search like remote jobs online or remote digital marketing jobs, remote sales jobs, design jobs, whatever you want, you'll find it, right? I think it's just that initial step, and most people have that like fear of like, oh, do I go do it? And you know what, like having a paycheck come from the West, but you're living in South America.
It's a life hack.
It's a life hack, man.
Yeah.
It's like you're almost unplugged fully from the matrix.
Yeah.
It's just you need a couple more steps and.
Yeah. So I mean, for the persons watching this, I actually preach against Fiverr and Upwork only because I have a personal beef. However, I also add in the caveat: if you make money doing it, ignore anything I say about it.
What's your beef with Upwork and Fiverr?
For me, Fiverr, I don't like the idea that I have to compete with all these people that are worth or that they're willing to do it for way less.
Yeah,
and
it's a race to the bottom.
Yeah, and I can't stand that.
Yeah,
because maybe that's because I'm an American. I've got a higher standard.
You know your value.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My problem with Upwork was I have done some gigs on there and it was great. But I had to take so many tests and get so many certifications and all this. And it was just nonsense. So for me, what I teach people is to use social media. So you don't have to have a massive following. You literally have like 100, 200 followers. You don't need a massive following. Either Instagram or Twitter. You can also just find YouTube accounts. It depends on your skill set.
Yeah.
And just start reaching out to actual brands. So people like Ed Lattimore, people like Ajax, anybody that sells courses.
Yeah.
They have books, they have coaching, maybe they sell a service.
How do you help them? How would someone help them? With copywriting, emails, what? What does it look like?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to like your specific skill set. Like I'm one of those people, like I don't think you should chase your passion, but so I want to preface what I'm about to say with that.
Yeah.
But I do believe you should start with what you're naturally good at. So like for me, if I tried to, like, if coding was the hottest thing, like, everybody should get into coding, like our friend. If I had to get into that, it would take me years to get to where I'm even decent.
It's a learning curve, yeah, definitely.
But when it comes to writing,
yeah,
whether it's writing a sales page, writing emails, writing tweets, whatever it is, I can just jump right in. So start with what you're naturally good at. And if you don't know what you're naturally good at, then at that point, experiment with different things. I was that guy. I was always sucked at math, but I was always good at English. I got some award in South Carolina for an like fantasy thing I wrote for school. So in the back of my mind, I always knew I was kind of a writer, which is why.
You're creative. You got creative writing skills.
Yes, exactly.
I don't, for example. Like when it comes to writing, typing something, proposals, any of that, and that's my weakest point. I prefer not to do it. I prefer just talking about it and figuring it out that way, as opposed to, hey, here's a written 50-page proposal of how we can make your website or your marketing campaign, whatever. So.
Yeah, so I would struggle with that too.
Yeah,
that's not my thing. But yeah, start with what you're naturally good at, and then from there, you can pick your skill set, and like you're going to test a bunch of different things. Like whenever I first became a freelancer, I was writing blog posts for some big time blogs at the time. I was writing adverts, which were still basically blog articles, but it was like designed as information. And then and by the way. And then we'd sell them the supplement or whatever.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I got started. And then I was like, that doesn't pay enough because I was getting like $100, $150 per article.
Yeah.
Then I started making sales pages. Then a partner and I, Alex Mangini, shout out him, Marketers Delight, we ended up partnering together and formed a company called Sites Delight, where I would basically market and he would do the site design. And that's when I started realizing, I'm actually pretty good at selling. So he sold so many so quickly that we couldn't keep up with it. We basically just, once we fulfilled everything, we're done. Like I'm doing my thing, I'm making a little bit of money now. Alex, he's doing his thing, so we just basically paused it.
Yeah.
Start with what you're naturally good at, and then from there, you can find other people that are doing it, and you can kind of model yourself after it. That's how you can figure out like how much should I charge, what should I offer people. That's whenever I got into the email copy world, I found some guys that are already offering it as a service. I was like, okay, cool. So my unique mechanism is I'm going to offer to write up your welcome sequence. And so I started pitching guys on Twitter specifically, and then later into Instagram. And I tested LinkedIn. It wasn't as good for my specific skill set because I target personal brands. And then from there, you just reach out to people in the DMs, and you have to get some kind of proof of work. You need to get testimonials.
So it sounds like this is like, you obviously didn't get there overnight. You know, like what would a time period be like? Because people are probably wondering, oh, how long would it take me to get to this level? When can I travel? All that. What was your experience like in terms of time?
So I mean, the first client I got, I was making like $1,000 a month, and
okay, that's good. That's a fair starting point.
It was a fair starting point, and I leveraged that. I was like, I know I can go out there and I can take on more clients. However, I'd rather be broke right now and really learn this skill, go all in on this one client, and I did that, and that ended up being one of the best decisions I've made. Still to this day, it's paying me very handsomely. And then from there, I learned email copy, how to do like email campaigns, all that type of stuff. Took that experience, moved on to another client, and it was like February or March of 2020. So
this is 2 years ago.
Yeah, literally not. It didn't take that long. Like I started doing email copy in like August of 2019, which was around like August 2019. By the time it was the first couple months of 2020, I was already like doing quite well. The first time I felt rich was when I was making like $8K a month, and then I realized I'm not actually rich. You feel like you're rich.
Compared to what you are.
Yeah, well, at this time I was a guitar, so like driving Lambos and the big Mercedes Jeeps, G-Wagons, that's like just, I don't know what the local cars are here, but just like some basic car to them. And then once I hit the 20K mark, I felt even more rich, but then I realized I'm even more broke because now I have more freedom, but I still can't fly private or anything like that.
Yeah, there's definitely levels to
it. And once I got to the 40, 50K a month, that's when I felt like I'm good. Like my mom's taken care of, girls taken care of, people that work for me are taken care of. I can breathe.
Yeah.
So, but it definitely did not. It was like you said, 2.5 years, almost 3 years to get to that point.
Plus, on top of that, you have a girlfriend, you have a business, fitness, health. Where does that come in?
So the fitness part, I'll just be honest, I struggle with that. Like honestly, I overall eat well, which is why I'm not 285 pounds like I used to be. But whenever we're doing all this traveling, hardly work out at all. Like do push-ups, but I don't consider that working out. Like so, I'm not consistently hitting the gym. Whenever I'm actually in one place, I hit the gym. I'm doing all of that. So for me, that's my weak point is like properly dedicating energy to that, because from the moment I wake up till I go to bed, I'm thinking about my own projects, client projects, living, different things like that.
Well, you know what? One thing I learned from a mentor of mine is you want to have a circle of life, right? You want to have your health, your wealth, your love, your social. You want to have your money all in an even line, right? If one thing becomes unbalanced, it fucks up the whole ball, the whole sequence, right? So being a well-rounded man individual, it encompasses all of those points over there, you know. And for me, like I've had trouble trying to balance a few things, right? Relationships, business, fitness, staying up late until 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 7. It all has some sort of effect on you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even for me, it's always been a challenge to balance those things out. And it doesn't matter what my intent is that day. If I'm journaling something in the morning, I try as quickly as possible to execute through everything on my list. I start with the hardest thing, which is, of course, the gym. I hate going to the gym. You know, for me, going to the gym is a chore, but I know it's a basic requirement that we have to like show up every single day. Even if you show up, do a couple sets, you went, it's discipline at that point, you know, and early on in my life, going to the gym was just like even now, a struggle. And I think it's still going to become a struggle, but I know like, this is what I need to do. You know, if I don't do this, it's going to affect A, B, C, D, E, F. So I try to like, you know, always be well-rounded in every way possible. And it's difficult, you know, especially when I'm traveling to all these different places, you know, it's new people, new routines, all of that. And going to that, you know, like I want to ask you, like, in terms of your routine now, from where you were 2 years ago to where you were now, what was the biggest change you noticed?
Like, and just how I start the day, that type of thing. I mean, for me now, I just don't overthink it. I used to be that guy that would try to find the perfect morning routine. Yeah. And then eventually, once I actually started making money, I realized it really comes down to what works for me specifically. Like, example, if you try to tell me the perfect routine back, like, 3 years ago, I tried to follow to the T what you said. Yeah. And then over time, as you start becoming your own person, stepping into your own power, blah, 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 you start just going based off, I guess, when I say what you feel, I don't mean it like in the nonsense way. Like based off, like, example, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I've got emails to write, but I'm not really feeling it mentally, I'm not going to force myself to do it. I used to just sit down. If I have to do it, I'll do it. But the way I've got it now, I don't need to worry about that. So I would do something else. And then later in the day, after I've got maybe a couple espressos, like the two doubles earlier, okay, you know, my mind, I feel good. I'm going to sit down and write.
Your mind's tingling. Let's get
exactly.
creative.
So now it's mainly just moving based off where my energy is at that current moment.
Yeah.
That's the biggest change in my routine. I used to be that guy. Like, I'm still all about discipline. I get my stuff done. You can ask my girl. She's with me all the time. You can ask the people that work around me. I work hard, but now I don't feel compelled to follow a set routine. I just go, like, as long as I'm getting stuff done, as long as things are progressing, I'm fine. 3 years ago, though, like I said, I had to follow a perfect routine. It would piss me off and ruin my day. Like earlier, I think we left the cafe at 10, 11 a.m.
It was almost 12 p.m.
3 years ago, I would be losing my mind.
You'd be shaking, jittering from
I'd be, oh my god, the day's ruined. Oh, I haven't done anything. It's 12. Like now, I don't care.
That resonates so much with me because like even same here. Like 3-4 years ago, I used to be like, if I'm not working or working on something, I'm getting nervous. I'm thinking about all the negatives that might happen with that. I used to have negative connotations in regards to like, oh, if I don't do this today, then more work's going to pile up. I was always fearful of getting more work on top and it falling behind. But now it's like my whole routine changed. I have an amazing team. They're all really hard workers. I help them out. They help me out. And now, like you said, like this morning, we're sitting from coffee from 9 to 12. And business is getting done, work is still going, and now you have to come in and do your part. You know what you have to do, but if your team didn't get you to that point, you wouldn't be here today, right? Same thing goes for me. Do you travel with your team, or is it just you and your girl at this point?
Sometimes I do bring people with me. Like whenever we went to Brazil recently, we went to the amazing waterfalls. Forgot what they were called. This
Falls de Iguaçu.
Yeah. We went there. I brought I didn't bring everybody, but it was like 5 of us, and that was like really awesome. That's also part of why I want to have a place set up. I want here. We'll see. Dubai, 100%. I know I can do. It's like $15K for everything. It's easy. But I would like to have home bases. So it's like, okay, because I've got remote workers, but then I've also got the like really crucial people that live around me. Yeah, exactly. Right. So the actual team. No offense to any of the other side people that are watching this. You're still important. I love you. Basically, we live in Paraguay a couple months out of the year. Live in Europe a couple months out of the year, live in Dubai a couple months out of the year.
I like that.
That's where I see myself pivoting now that the world's kind of returning back to normal. And then I also would like to have like a company like type of thing where once a year, I fly everybody in, we do some like cool thing. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Awesome, man. That's one thing I want to do as well, is do a full company retreat. Fly the whole company out to like south of Spain, or
it's great for the culture.
It's great for the culture. It's not just about going to make money. You want to go make money. You want to live a life of nobility. You want to be able to build something, and where everyone feels as if they're part of like a tight knit community, and they're all learning and growing together. I think that's the core purpose now where I'm at. And the mindset and the culture that I want to pass on to my team members too. And I think it's a fair opportunity for everyone, right? We just got to extend the opportunity that we had to other people to follow in your shoes. You help them, they help you. Everyone wins kind of situation. Where do you want to take your where are you in 5 years, man? Let's not say 5 years. Let's say 1 year.
Well, 1 year is fair.
We're back here in Belgrade on a different podcast. What the fuck happened last year, bro?
So I mean, where I'm putting my energy now until December is the Dylan Madden brand. Because mentor after mentor, and even my own mind kept saying, making these clients so much money, why don't you do it for yourself?
Right.
So until December, I've given myself that till the end of December. That's what I'm really focused on. Like I've kind of put my actual quote unquote business on the side. It's still getting done. Clients are being taken care of, but I'm not actively trying to take on new clients. I'll still take consulting stuff, but as far as like actually building up and doing the email campaign, social media, don't really do that. And I'm taking that same energy and putting it into myself. So in a year's time, have like a major YouTube channel, it can be defined as over 100K subscribers, we'll see. But like a respected podcast, popular vlog, like I'm really taking over Paraguay with the vlog. That's another reason behind the scenes why I chose Paraguay. Is it's really small and tight knit, and if you stand out, because most of the vloggers there, and I'm calling them out now, they're losers. They're like, I paid $5 for this. And I'm going to actually show Paraguay. So I want to have a major vlog, have a popular podcast. My Twitter is at 30K as of I think yesterday. I want to have that like 60 to 100K on that as well. And just be like an actual personal brand, and we're generating like 7 figs a year, like because we're getting close to that now. If we keep going at the trajectory that we're
Keep
going.
scaling, yeah.
Yeah. We're getting there. I'll name drop outside of the podcast where we're at now. So I mean, things are looking great, but I really want to build up my own brand, because the problem with working with clients is you're building up their assets.
You're putting them first as well.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, you're getting paid. You're living how you want to live.
Yeah.
But now you've reached so many levels now where it's like if you either focus on yourself or focus on them, what's it going to be? And everyone knows what the best investment is, right?
Exactly. Because I want something I can actually control. I've had some stuff happen over the past couple of months. It wasn't anything negative, but it opened up my mind to, like, do you really want to put all of your eggs in these few baskets? Like, what happens? Like, if this changes or this happens, but if it's me, well, I control that.
Yeah.
Within reason, I control that. Yeah. Obviously, the powers that be, they can change certain things. We don't have to go into that, but yes, my 1 year plan, and 1 year I want to have a major YouTube channel, which includes the vlog, podcast, much bigger Twitter presence, and I want to figure out what's going on with my IG so I can get that sorted, and then have like a major IG going as well. And then we're selling courses, we're doing events, we're doing all that type of stuff. Because I really
events are
enjoy
going to be interesting, huh? What are the events all about?
So
30,000 foot high level.
Off air, I'll tell you
Yeah.
the upcoming event that we're planning.
Okay.
But it'll be basically just teaching people what I'm doing, freelancing,
Gotcha.
helping them get out of that, take them on some kind of like travel experience and all of that. And I want to do it around the world because I've got great connections around the world, from the Middle East, South America, Africa, now Belgrade. So I can do things all around the world. I could do it in the U.S., but I don't really plan on doing that anytime soon. And I need to call up your friend Drake in Toronto, see if we can do an event there.
Yeah.
But I want to see more events taking place. I really like this in person.
Yeah.
Like, courses are cool.
Toronto's a good city to do an event.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people there. It's the city's hustling and bustling. You know, it's moving fast. An event in Toronto would be nice. Springtime, preferably, would be really good there. Even one in Belgrade could be good for the European people.
Okay.
You know, so let me know. I can help you out with the events too.
Okay.
There's
That'd be
definitely
awesome.
a lot of things we can do together in terms of events.
Well, a large amount of my audience is European.
Okay.
So it's actually been even more beneficial that I'm traveling in this side of the world, because I didn't realize how many
Face-to-face is always a lot better than like over Twitter,
way
phone,
better.
whatever it may be.
So that's where I see myself in a year, is doing more events, the vlog, all that type of stuff. Before I repeat myself, just making that massive.
Yeah.
And just actually, because that's you said it yourself. Other people said it. I've got the radio voice, so I'm finally leaning into that.
You do got the radio voice.
Because for me, I kept trying to just be the writer guy and all that.
Yeah.
But my actual strength is my voice, and I've got a good video presence, so I just want to really lean into that. So we'll see where it happens. But I guess to pivot, where do you see yourself in a year? So we're sitting here a year from now.
Yeah.
What are you telling me now?
Well, maybe I'm on your podcast. I'm sitting on that side of the table, you know, with a nicer mic. This time next year, definitely scale my business. So we have two sides. So we have the client-facing side, then we have the white label side, where we help other marketing agencies fulfill their back-end services.
Nice.
And it's two-way white labels. So we white label other agencies white label us. Vice versa. It's a good network, right? So where we work on the top 20% of clientele and business, the other 80% we basically get the channel partners, and channel partners give it to us, and we route it through our network. So I want to have that scaled. I want to be hopefully in the mid 7 figures area. I want to be able to say, hey, listen, you know, our company is now 40 people. We doubled to 80 people. We have a lot of online influence. I want to be able to provide education to people that, hey, look, these agency owners that are part of our white label network, they can scale to 7 figures by following, you know, these processes, doing this kind of sales strategy, this kind of marketing, niching down on these types of niches because they're going to be up and trending. There's a lot of money going into them. They need marketing websites, they need campaigns, social media, all that jazz. So hopefully by a year from now, I've traveled many more countries, tried many more different types of wines, foods, met different kinds of people. Hopefully meet with you somewhere, either in Paraguay or Dubai. I think that would be an awesome experience.
Anytime,
that's where I see myself a year from now. You know, I don't have any big lofty goals. I just want to stay consistent with what I've been doing up until now, and not pivot too far off. But just instead of going wide, I want to go. I want to go deep now. You know.
Yeah, that's my issue with because people. Actually, last night they asked me, like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like, I don't like doing that. Like, for me, it's all about the consistency. Because I've always achieved way more than I anticipated by just being consistent. Yeah. So like, I know what I'm doing now. I see what's working. I see kind of where I want to go. Yeah. And so I just keep every single day moving. Like us doing this podcast serves a bigger purpose for both of us. Yeah. And it's just consistently finding things every day, which this is kind of a lesson for the people watching this. especially in the beginning, you start overthinking, like you think you have to do all these different things. But if you do like one positive thing a day in your day-to-day life that moves you, like
0.1% forward. Yeah.
Exactly. I think his name was Ed Milet, said he made some like TikTok or something. But that, like, I already do that. Whenever he said it, I was like, that's actually a really good point. And so it should take away some of your anxiety. If you're sitting there, you haven't really achieved much success. If you're like, it's not about like just winning big today. It's just, what can I do today to progress myself? You're already ahead of everybody else.
Exactly. Slow progression. What are your views on kids, marriage, long-term relationships?
So from a kid perspective, I used to be that guy that I was, I don't want to bring kids into this world. It's a messed up place. But now I see it as a positive thing. So within the next year or so, I do see myself starting that process of trying to have a kid and all that, because the caveat to that is if you have a kid, you can program them properly, because I'm going to brainwash them so much with positivity and all that. Exactly.
Right.
So, and from that one person, and then we have plenty of other friends in our certain networks and everything. They'll have their kids. Now we've got this network. We've hundreds and then thousands.
It's a private school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As far as like relationships, I think it really depends on your actual desires and your natural nature and all that. Like for me, hooking up all the time, that just, it doesn't vibe with me. I've been there, done that. It distracts me. I don't really enjoy it that much. So I'm more so the like long-term relationship type of guy. But to also add to that, I don't believe that you should put all this energy into one relationship if it doesn't align with your goals. Like if earlier I said there was a girl that I was dating years ago, obviously was not on the same page as me. It was, she wanted to like me to work like a regular job, blah blah blah. I'm not doing that. So if you can find a girl that is, and for the girls who are watching this, a guy that are on that same page with you,
that same wavelength,
the same frequency. Like my girl that you met today, she's on the same wavelength.
Amazing.
Her and I have actually been talking for years before we even started actually dating.
Sounds like a power couple.
Exactly. So if you can find that, then 100% focus on a relationship. Marriage is that thing that I believe in, but from the governmental side, that's my only issue with it. I actually like the idea of marriage. I think it's beneficial, and you can build a legacy. You can have you and your wife, you've got your kids, you can start building up the family.
That's the empire business.
Yes,
you have kids.
Exactly. And that's what I believe in that. My issue with it comes into, and I won't use certain keywords because we'll post this on YouTube, it comes into it whenever the government gets involved, and then it becomes almost a disadvantage, especially if you're from the West, in my opinion.
Right.
Like maybe I've got a life hack because my girl's not from the U.S. Maybe I'll see, but from what the research and the people I've spoken to, it would actually be a disadvantage from a monetary standpoint. Like there's certain things that can happen. We can talk about that off air. Try not to use certain keywords. But I do believe in marriage, and I think it's a positive thing, especially if it's a guy that actually has worked on himself and he's providing value. And he's not just, it's not his high school sweetheart that they like. I like Jordan Peterson, but from what I've been told, he like met this one girl and she rejected him for years and years and years and years.
Finally got her after,
and then he finally got her after she'd been with quite a few guys, and then they got married. I don't agree with that type of relationship.
Me either.
I think if you are a man of value and you find a girl that's a good quality girl, you're attracted to each other, it works out, you're on the same frequency, I think you actually have a higher advantage in life instead of just having all these one night stands and this girl, this hoe.
What's a quality girl compared to a hoe for you?
I mean, for me personally, I think this is just my personal opinion. It would be different for you, different from all the other guys that are in here. For me, it's a girl that has like more traditional leaning values. They believe in family. They came from a rather traditional family. They don't. When I say they don't have big ambitions, they don't have big financial ambitions, because like it's stressful enough with what I do, so I don't want to have like all these big financial ambitions going. But they're ambitious in a different regard. Like maybe they really want to be a mother, they want to have kids, and all of that. For me, that's what works. For you, it might be completely different.
That resonates with me.
So that's what I looked for, and I was looking for. And with my current girl, that's what I found. Was she wants to have a family, she wants to raise a kid, she likes taking care of things. But at the same point, or on the same card, she's not dumb, she's actually intelligent. She helps me with my business stuff behind the scenes. So she's a huge asset, more than just listening to everything I say. Like it's bigger than that. So it actually serves a bigger purpose. I'm one of those types of guys from like friends. It has to serve some kind of bigger purpose. I don't want to just sit around and talk nonsense. Like what are we doing together to build?
Exactly.
For me personally, that's what I look for in a girl. She has to be intelligent, as in we can like build together in certain like aspects. She has to have a family. That's what I look for. What about yourself?
Very similar to you, man.
Yeah.
You know, very family oriented, loves and supports me, helps me in any way possible,
Yeah.
but also on my level in terms of not just intelligence, but the hustle.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's super important. And not the hustle towards business, but hustle towards, you know, living a certain lifestyle, going to certain places, having a certain types of family, and those kind of family values, embedding that into our children one day. I think that's super important. I also think that, you know, there's different levels of loyalty. And I'm a loyal guy, so I expect that level of loyalty as well from my woman and vice versa, right? But look, similar to you, been there, done that. I know what's out there, I know what's not out there, and I'm at that point now where I know exactly what I want, why I want it, and how it's going to benefit me and how it's going to benefit her. And I'm at that level where it's like, you know, very similar to you and your girl, power couple, doing things together, dominating the world, taking over, you know, spreading seeds, spreading influence, all that. I think it's super fucking important, man. And a lot of people don't see it that way, and that's especially in the West, that's a sad reality, you know. And like I think a lot of people that think like that, that certain mindset that, you know, we were raised to, is maybe it works for them, but I know for a fact it does not work for me. Yeah, you know.
And it's good that we're having this conversation, because a lot of people, oh no, I can't have a serious relationship. That means I'm weak or I'm a simp or what.
Yeah, no, it doesn't mean shit.
It literally doesn't mean anything, and it's an advantage if you make it an advantage.
Exactly.
I think you should try the like one night stands, do all that, so you can see if it's in your nature. It wasn't in my nature. I don't like the constant drama and having to deal with this person.
Right.
I like waking up. I've got control of my day. I've got a girl I can count on. I can focus.
That's the most important thing.
And that's what works for me. And I think guys as a whole need to be honest with who they are. Just because on Instagram and all these other like influencers, they're living a certain type of lifestyle, it doesn't mean that that's what is best for you. It goes back to the routine conversation. I found what worked best for me, and I do that. I don't try to find or listen to some other random person's perfect morning routine. Find what works for you. And if you focus on yourself as like a young man, and as you're building yourself up, like we're still both young, but like I'm much older obviously than I used to be when I was 22, etc. Absolutely. So if you just focus on building yourself up, your mindset, your finances, and you're not sitting there necessarily just chasing it, like the relationship aspect, it'll come. Like, example, the girl that I'm with now, she came into my reality actually whenever I finally started figuring things out, because I was lost for years trying to figure things out. But as I started becoming a man of my own mind, etc., stepped into my own power, and she came into my life, and we've since then have both grown together, which is another good point. You should also not stay in a relationship if you're not both growing. Like I see relationships as, here the paradise is this island, we're on a boat, and if the girl keeps jumping off and you have to keep bringing her back in, just leave her out there. If she gets in the boat and you both go together, exactly. But if you go to the paradise together, it's going to be beautiful. So it'll be amazing. So don't be that guy that just drags people along. The same with friends. Friend of mine, he's basically a brother. Like I've tried to give him many opportunities. I even offered him $3,000 to quit his job on the spot, plus whatever I was going to match his salary at his job. Wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't do it, huh?
I've done that twice now, and actually third time back whenever we were in Paraguay. I was like, bro, quit your job.
Well, you know what? Environment is such a big part of it as well, right? Some people are just in the wrong environment. I know for myself, I used to be in a wrong environment, but once I left that environment and you know, level up, it's natural progression at that point. You put yourself in front of the right people, right places where you can focus, double down on what you're good at, and work with people who are competent enough to help you get to your goal, and vice versa. I think that's super important. You know, environment is absolutely everything. Like when you go to a gym, for example, and you see that there's all these jack guys and jack girls, everyone's working out, and you're kind of a lazy guy. When you see these people, your natural instinct is going to compete at some sort of level. Maybe not the highest level where they're at, but your competition automatically raises, right? I call it osmosis. Like if you're in a certain area, that rubs off to you. You get that energy, you get that motivation, right? Same thing in business, social circles, with women, with where you go out, how to build, you know, social status in a certain city. I think that's super important, you know. And some people don't have that environment. Some people actually aren't even aware of the hack. You have to set your environment up to where you want to be.
No, that's a good point, because rewind back to 3.5 years ago, I felt like I was.
This is 2019 now, right?
Yeah, so, 2019. Okay. I felt like I was a crazy person because all of my quote unquote actual friends were just these online people. Because in my actual reality, everybody was 9 to 5, get good benefits, just the same old, and like I was like, man, is something wrong with me? like,
Yeah.
like I can't, because I quit my actual job in 2016 because I was like, I literally can't take it. It was depressing me. I was like going crazy, literally. And so I couldn't resonate with that.
Yeah.
However, in 2019, I don't think it's a coincidence that in 2019 I started meeting a lot of these people from the internet online, and it started normalizing. Like
The best part in different cities all around.
exactly.
The world.
So I went to New York City a couple times, met up with these big influencers, like Ed Lattimore, Ajax Cerno, a couple other people. Met with them. I was like, wow, this is real. Now I started helping with events.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm seeing behind the scenes. Then I interned with Victor Pride in 2016 going into 2017.
And then you're learning with them,
Yeah.
you're seeing what they
But
do,
it makes
how
it
they
real
move.
in your mind,
Yeah.
which is a key for everybody that's watching this. It needs to be real in your mind. So you need to find any way you can to meet these people that either you look up to or just contemporaries on the same level. Meet them in person, and it becomes real to you. And then once it becomes real and you normalize it, like example, I remember 10K a month was like, wow, oh my God, I can't wait until I get that. Now, if I made 10K in a month, I would be, oh my God, what am I going to do?
What's going on here?
Oh, I can barely pay all the people that work for me, my apartment. No, now I would be losing my mind.
Yeah.
But the reason I went past 10K and 20K into 30K was it normalized. Like for me, like for all the people who are watching this, like getting your paycheck is normal. But you will get to a point where making money for yourself is as normal as getting a paycheck, and even more normal. Like now, I can't even imagine having, like, depending on a paycheck. Like I can't, that's not in my mind, that's not my reality. So you need to find ways to normalize what you want, whether it's the fitness stuff like you were talking about, the money stuff like I'm talking about, travel. And so find ways to get in front of other people and just become friends with them and normalize it.
Yeah.
And that's the key.
Would you say you're naturally introvert or extrovert?
I'm weird. I'm both. Like
You're both, huh?
It depends on the people I'm
I feel
around.
that.
Like
I
with
feel
you
that.
guys, I was talking way more.
Yeah.
Rewind to another group of people I was with. I was really quiet on my phone the whole time. So it really depends if I vibe with the people. So I can be really extroverted, but I can also be like the weird guy in the corner, just on his phone, not talking hardly at all. So it depends on the people I'm around. I would say I feed off the people that are around me, and like how you are to me, I just amplify it.
Yeah.
So that's a strength of mine. That's why I enjoy doing podcasts and doing events and all that, because I can really just amplify that energy.
Yeah.
So if you were really quiet, I would probably be really quiet.
Makes
basically.
sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense too. I think I'm more leaning on the extroverted side, but again, contextually speaking, who I'm with and where I am, I can be both.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm with people that I'm not really like fond of, or I don't know why I'm doing there, I'm kind of quiet, looking for a way out, you know. Or if I'm with people like this morning when we were in that circle about people talking, I woke up late, I came late, but I came full of energy because everyone around me is like high energy, and I'm just like, fuck it, you know, like where's my energy? Let me get some to this table. So yeah, definitely depends where I am and who I'm with and stuff. So, you know, a lot of people are probably wondering, you know, where can they learn from you? Do you have any advice, like aside from the podcast and your Twitter, like how do people get to know you, and how do they get your help?
I mean, the best place to find me is on Twitter at MoneyBagLives.
Moneybag lives.
Yeah, Moneybag Lives.
Moneybag lives forever, baby.
That's the best place to find me. Like that's my most active platform. You can. Got tons of threads on there. My team's working on putting together a blog post of all my main threads and all that. We'll figure it out. That way you can just access all that. But yeah, I've got tons of threads, videos. You can keep up with my travels there. Or Instagram is Real Dylan Madden.
Got you, man.
So, but the best place is Twitter for sure.
Awesome, man. My man.
Thank you
so much, man. This is a great experience.
Always.